Okay, Q&A, June 2022, Part 3. We're looking at the rest of June and July and August for any major events or happenings. Probably going to be focused on mostly the US and Western Europe, because that's what I feel like I say that the most. So if I get other things, I will mention that. I just got a flash of something hitting a coast. It doesn't look like the US coast. It was the eastern coast. Doesn't feel like water. Might be wind or not sure what that is. Feels like northern hemisphere. Maybe north of the US. I guess it could be water. I'm seeing like little ripples. So, it could be an earthquake, silly me. I don't know if that's a normal place for earthquakes though, so I'm trying to figure out what coast that is. Doesn't feel like China. I heard Newfoundland, however they say that. Okay. Let me see what else there is. Something's going on between Florida and South Carolina. It's almost like they get folded or pinched right there at the border. Almost like it sinks and pushes the edges together, which doesn't sound very likely at all. So maybe that's metaphorical. Could be something political. Could be something that like Florida and, I'm sorry, not South Carolina, Georgia. that would be something if the borders of those two were touching. Bye-bye, Georgia. No, Georgia and Florida. Sorry. All right, let me look for anything else. Doesn't seem like any like gigantic, other than what's going on already. I guess I'm kind of looking for natural disasters first. I'm looking at the fires in the West. It feels like they're moving more east than they normally do. In fact, I'm planning to go to Colorado this summer, and I have been thinking, I keep having thoughts of like we may not get to stay or we may not get to go because there may be fires at that time. So I don't know. I guess we'll see. There's a lot of land gone to fires in the west of the US. Also I'm feeling a lot of hot weather for Western Europe. Not everywhere. There are pockets of not so bad, but for a lot of people, there's going to be a lot of heat and these are places that like don't normally have air conditioning. Like we're in the South and America, and it gets very hot. So everybody here has air conditioning because you can't, you would die of heat stroke if you didn't have something to cool you off. Well, I guess they used to use water in the old days, but these people in Europe that don't have air conditioning, I'm just feeling it's very unsettling. It feels very unsettled in Europe. There are a lot of people that have a lot of different problems. There's people who've had to migrate, people who've had to take people in. There's people who can't afford things. There's some healthcare systems are not equipped to take so many new people so quickly. So that's a problem. I feel like for the Ukraine, like I'm just seeing that southeastern part just burned and being used as like a dead zone. I don't know what Russia has promised to people that were in that area, but they're not going to resettle anybody anywhere in that zone. It's like a buffer zone. So people can't, people from Ukraine can't get into Russia to cause any problems. And there won't be any civilians living in what used to be the Ukraine there, but that they have taken over and like burned everything. You can't live there, but there will be it will be monitored. I mean, I guess through this summer anyway. But I just glimpsing into their intention for the future, that right now that's what they're intending, that they're not giving it back to Ukraine, they're not taking it over for civilian use or to allow any civilians that live there that were loyal to Russia. No, they're just using it as kind of like a military zone. All right, well, not getting any. It's hard because, if it was something that affected me directly, then maybe I would get like really strong, clear signals. But because all this stuff is happening like away from me, it impacts me a little, but mostly it doesn't. Mostly my life just goes on the same. So I got to figure out a way to tap into that signal, I guess, without hurting myself or taking on the emotions of, the people that it does affect. Okay, moving on. What's the easiest way to psychically win the lottery or other contest, or non-psychically? What's the easiest way to win a lottery or another contest like a car or something like that? Okay, so they're saying if you have anxiety, like I need to win that money, I need it, I want it so much, then that's not the way to do it. They're saying it's kind of like irony, because you're more likely to win the lottery if you don't care about it or you don't need it. And it's the people who need it that should be winning it. And they're saying like putting on a false front, like I'm pretending that I don't need it so I can win, is not going to work either. All right, so what do we do if we can't pretend we don't need it, but we still want to win? They're saying we have to create that as our most probable future. And for most people, the easiest way to do that is to visualize, practice. It's like a meditation practice, but it's like you sit down and you visualize yourself winning, what that would look like, what you have to do with the money, the little details like bank accounts, attorneys, taxes, and all that. Walk through it like you're living it again and again and again until you win. And they're giving me the 3-month rule thing, which is like you start doing it and like maybe you could do it for 2 weeks or a month or something like that. And it usually takes about 3 months before that energy gets back to you, maybe 2 at this point. And we're getting to where it's more closer to instant for us now to manifest something, but for something big, there's a bigger subconscious. Our subconscious mind wants to keep us safe. So if you're trying to tell your subconscious mind, I've already won it, it's going to try to throw some resistance up around that. So it will take a little longer for it to happen. But I know I'm not that disciplined to sit down and, every single day for even 2 weeks and imagine that I've won the lottery and this is what I've done with it. I mean, I'm not very disciplined. I mean, there are a million things to distract us, so why do we do that? Okay, they're saying it'd be just as easy. It would be probably easier to manifest the exact things that you want the money to buy. Like if you want the money because you don't have the money to pay for a surgery that you really need, you would be better off imagining that you had the surgery and everything went great and you were cured. Because then the universe can bring to you that solution much easier than it can bring you one lottery win. So it has a lot of different avenues to bring different things to you, different experiences to you, So really they're saying you're limiting yourself by just trying to win the money in the lottery, when the universe could just like deliver different things to you in different ways. It's like I've talked about this before. It's like only giving them a water hose to deliver one exact thing when you could have a funnel instead. It's opened up to more ways for it to come, more directions for it to come. All right. All right, that's all for this part. And in the next part, we're going to do some weird, not weird, some very interesting questions about blood, human blood. Don't miss it. See you in a minute.